In the previous chapter, good morning student. In the previous chapter, we discussed the wave nature of matter. According to wave nature of matter, first hypothesis was given by the de Broglie, and according to the de Broglie theoretical, on the basis of de Broglie's theoretical basis, we have calculated that whenever a material particle are in motion, they are associated with some kind of wave, and the wavelength of that wave, it is given by lambda is equal to h upon p, and p is equal to mass into velocity, and we know that the relation p is equal to under root of 2 mk. By this relation you will get h upon under root of 2 mk. So finally you will get lambda is equal to h upon under root 2 mev, where lambda is the wavelength of the material particle, h is the Planck constant, m mass of the particle, E is the charge on the electron, and V is the capital V. It is a capital V which is the potential applied between the cathode and anode. Thus, in order to study the experimental demonstration of wave nature of matter, here it is shown that experimental demonstration of wave nature of electron, for which Davison and Germer was the scientist who first in the year of 1927, in order to demonstrate the wave nature of electron, Davison and Germer performed an experiment, and his experimental setup was like this. Here there were a complete vacuum chamber. Within this vacuum chamber there is a cathode is fitted, and this cathode is connected to the low tension battery. Means it is low heated filament which works on the principle of thermionic emission. And now the emitted electrons are being attracted by the anode, and anode is connected to the high tension battery which attracts all these electrons, and there is a small hole is made within this anode through which a fine beam of electron, that is also known as collimated beam of electron, can pass through this anode, and then this beam of incident electron beam is allowed to fall on a nickel crystal. Why do we consider only the nickel crystal? We can consider gold, other etc. Because the crystal lattice of nickel crystal is best in rest of the matter. Means scattering property of this incident electron beam will be done by the nickel much better than any other metal. So here what we consider? We consider the nickel crystal. So when this beam of incident electron is allowed to fall on a nickel crystal, it gets scattered through the internal atom of this nickel crystal, and the scattered electron beam is obtained. Now this electron beam, intensity of this electron beam is measured by using the detector or collector. This detector or collector is coated with some photo material, so that when the electron beam will strike on it, there is a bright spot is obtained, and the intensity of this scattered electron beam is measured by this, with the help of this galvanometer. And by measuring the deflection corresponding to this angle, scattered angle phi, we measure the wave nature of electron. So now it is clear. Once again I repeat it. There is a cathode which is connected with a low tension battery. There is an anode which is connected with a high tension battery, and there is a fine hole is made within the anode. So a fine beam of electron will incident on this nickel crystal, from where it gets scattered, and the scattered beam of electron is measured by the detector or collector. And this whole complete arrangement is done inside the vacuum chamber. Now what we have to do? We have to first heat the cathode. On heating the electron, on heating this cathode, the electron beam will be emitted from this cathode, which will be attracted by the anode, finally which will incident on the nickel crystal, and from where it is get scattered, and its intensity at different scattering angle should be measured by using this detector or by using the galvanometer. Now it is clear, I think, that is scattering arrangement. 3. Now we measure the scattered electron intensity as a function of scattering angle phi, that is the angle between the incident and scattered electron beam, and the experiment is repeated for different accelerating voltage. Now what happens? We apply the different potential between the cathode and anode, and we measure the intensity of scattered electron beam with the help of this galvanometer at different angle. Different scattered angle means different value of phi. What we do? We measure the intensity of scattered beam of light with the help of galvanometer. So this experiment is repeated between the cathode and anode ranging from 44 volt to 68 volt. Means at the between the voltage 44 volt to 68 volt, this experiment is repeated several times between, and a graph is plotted between the direction of incident electron and the applied voltage as a function of scattered angle. So now what he observed, when he start increasing the voltage between the cathode and anode, he observed the first graph where I is the intensity of scattered light, phi is the angle of scattering, and this is the direction of incident electron, and this is the value of Y voltage. That represents the applied voltage between the cathode and anode. By plotting the different graph between the 44 volt to 68 volt, what he observed? He observed that the maximum intensity of light, this is what this is what maximum intensity of light is being observed at an angle, scattering angle of 50 degree. This is the maximum intensity of the scattered light, electron beam, which was being obtained at the voltage of 54 volt, and the angle of scattering was 50 degree. In rest of the cases, बाकी सारे केसेस के कंपैरिजन में when the applied voltage between the cathode and anode was 54 volt, that time the maximum scattering angle is how much it is? 50 degree, at which the intensity of light is found to be maximum. On the basis of this, the maximum intensity obtained in a particular direction is due to, now this intensity is obtained due to the constructive interference of electrons scattered from different layers of the regular space nickel crystal. Now we have seen that for the different scattering angle, the intensity of scattered light which being observed by the detector was maximum when the applied potential was 54 degree between the cathode and anode, and the scattering angle was what? 50 degree. Now when you will see only this part of the diagram, so you will notice that this is what? This is the glancing angle. Glancing angle is the angle made by the incident beam of light with the normal. With the incident light ray. The angle made by the incident light ray with the angle made by the incident light ray with the scattered surface or reflecting surface is known as angle of glancing. So here when you will see, this is a straight line angle. So this theta plus phi plus theta, that is equal to 180 degree. So that it is written here from figure, the glancing angle is given by theta plus phi plus theta is equal to 180 degree. That means 2 theta is equal to 180 minus phi, or theta is equal to 90 minus phi by 2. But here the scattering angle at which the intensity of light is maximum, that is what? Phi, and its value is how much it is? 50 degree. So you will write here 90 minus 25 is equal to 65 degree. This is the value of glancing angle. Now, when you know that the interatomic separation in a nickel crystal is, the interatomic separation I told you especially why we are using the nickel crystal, because this crystal lattice is so good for the scattering of electron. That is why here we have used the nickel crystal, because the interatomic separation for the nickel crystal is very good, and its value is D is equal to 0.914 angstrom. And you know that here the maximum intensity of light is obtained as a result of constructive interference. And for this constructive interference, for the first order maxima, the Bragg law is given by 2d sine theta is equal to lambda. Now, in these constant, we will substitute this experimental value. So, you will get lambda is equal to 2 and d interatomic separation for the nickel crystal, if value is this, so you have substituted here, and you also calculated experimentally the value of theta is 65, so you will substitute here sin theta is equal to 65 degree. So finally you will get lambda is equal to 1.65 angstrom, means the experimental value that Davison and Germer has calculated on their experiment the wavelength of the beam of electron that is associated with moving electron. It is given by lambda is equal to 1.65 angstrom. That was the theoretical value. But on the basis of de Broglie hypothesis, if you will consider that lambda is equal to h upon mv, the final equation you have to write, this is 12.3 upon under root of v angstrom. Now here if we will substitute, here we never substituted the value of applied voltage, but in this formula, in the de Broglie formula, there was a potential, value of potential which is applied between cathode and anode, and corresponding value at an angle of 50 degree which you have substituted here. If you will substitute the value of corresponding value of potential, that is 54 volt. So from this equation you will get 12.3 upon under root of 54, that you will get lambda is equal to 1.66 angstrom, and this 1.66 angstrom value, this is the theoretical value of given by the de Broglie. If we will consider the applied potential is how much, 54 volt, and the same thing has been derived by the Davison and Germer on the basis of his experiment, that is 1.65 angstrom. Thus, Davison and Germer experiment supports the wave nature of the electron, and this was the last topic of this chapter. Thank you, students.